All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Reader. So this one's going to be a quick one. I'm going to do no ads on this one because really I'm here asking for your help, please. Okay, so I used to use a different system to record all this, and whatever reason, it is messing up my subtitles. And oh man, one thing I love about this place is how international our team is. It's crazy, actually. So I'm looking for a replacement. Please let me know if this sounds actually, let me know if something's bad. Let me know if I sound different. Let me know if the screen looks less HD, blurrier. I don't know what the words are, right? But it seems like I can do everything I used to do. I show my charts. I show the Discord. I'll bring out my little calculator so we can look at volume. I think all of this is still visible. We're still looking at the screen, not a window. It's still connecting to my microphone. So yeah, just please let me know. And then obviously when I post this, I'll know if it fixed what the other one didn't. All right. So real quick, let me at least cover a couple stocks. It's obviously Super Bowl Sunday as well. So I thought this was a good time to test something. So look, SOFI. I'm very quickly going to say I like the earnings on the 26th. Not only did I like it, I know that the consensus was no, earnings headquarters is where I come on. There's too many earnings that get posted here, but SoFi's earnings was actually good, and all of a sudden we're downtrending, right? I think it's twofold. Number one, you hear me say it all the time. Earnings are crazy. I've seen good earnings bring downtrends like we see here. I've seen earnings that were horrible include reverse split fears, and all of a sudden they gap up and run, up, right? It's the silliest of sillies, right? I think the other thing is, look, the index hasn't been great. S&P 500 has actually been really choppy. When you look at NASDAQ, CompQ, when you look at NASDAQ, it's actually been that same choppy as well. I think DJ30 no, DJ30's actually been a little bit better. Maybe you can argue it's starting to do the choppy, but yeah, S&P 500 and NASDAQ haven't been the prettiest. To me, maybe that was a little bit of what was explaining the SoFi move. Obviously, there's some moving averages that I can attest to, right? But I think overall, what really bothered me, and again, it bothers me, but it's not like I'm here trying to explain it, understand it, or anything like that. It bothers me when good earnings get bad reactions. It really does, right? But if you've heard me say it all the time, if you've been here before, there is no logic and rational thinking when it comes to the market. All right, believe me, you are probably a more educated person than I am, and we're not here trying to explain why this good earnings has us down here and looking at under these three and potentially look. And I gotta say it, right? I think there's a real potential to come to the 100 moving average. Realistically, I would think maybe 1380 if I had to guess, right? And 100's kind of coming up a little bit, so maybe it'll get to that 1380 at some point, but that's roughly what I'm seeing now. Personally, I would still wait for the 1660. I would. Look, I think it's an easy argument to make, like, let's call it 1610, 16 something, 1615. I think that's an easy argument to make. I think your risk reward tolerance would be right there. But yeah, this one is just it's another stamp on the passport of earnings are crazy. You know what I mean? It goes around and around every 3 months, and oh my goodness, right? Taking a look at SoundHound. So SoundHound to me is very much where's my volume? Oh, it's at BBAI. That's really what I have in my head when I'm thinking of SoundHound, right? Generally, you'll hear me say sector strength is going to lift everything and this and that. I think right now what has happened is SoundHound, this has established itself so much that it is now the bottom tier AI stocks that are going to have their turn. That's just kind of what I'm seeing. Truth be told, look, we're still over the moving averages. We're still holding very well. We're still holding the 50 very well. I mean, there's a number of technical things up here. Looks like the MACD is about to get back into the positive. Like, I'm obviously a little annoyed. This is horizontal. You hear me say all the time, if you're going to keep your money horizontal, just put it in the bank, right? You'll get less gray hairs and worry. But we've seen it with SoundHound on this, sorry, from right here, right? We pop, horizontal, pop, horizontal. Like this thing knows how to stay months and months and months and months and months horizontally, right? Before another pop. So I think I'm relatively still okay here. Again, a little annoyed, but whatever. It's okay with that, right? I would say this, as long as we're over the golden line, it's a little hard to think bad thoughts, right? Now, a drop from 15 to 12, that's about a 20% drop right there, right? So, not the prettiest of things, but just in retrospect, depending on what your move is, right? But yeah, overall, I am a little surprised, annoyed, whatever the word you want to be, that BBAI is going. I just made a video on guard force. It looks like that thing's getting ready, and this one's just kind of staying flat. To me, it's okay. I think we've made a big run here. We'll let the other ones catch up. I think either earnings or some PR or something like that should help, reestablish the narrative that Soundhound is the best of the lower players. And I'm still calling Soundhound a lower player. By no means do I think Soundhound has jumped to that Palantir level, right? So this thing's still here proving itself. Those other ones I think need to do a lot more to prove themselves. Hey, BBAI got a US Navy contract, right? So in some ways it's getting there. But nonetheless, for Soundhound specifically, where's that? That's too low. I think I would wait for 17. I know that seems a little high, but 1760 isn't too bad. 17 flat. This right here, actually, you can see the close right here was 1691, that green number on top. I think 1690 is actually what I would wait for. Again, there is a cluster. That is three moving averages right there, right? So you're going to want to get over it and get a little bit more just to make sure you believe. But yeah, get me the MACD. RSI is still a healthy 62. All we're missing is volume. And like I kind of started with this, I think it's just at BBAI and potentially other little ones, right? So last one I'll look at here, and again, I obviously would have done a better 20-minute like detailed video and more details on each, but I just want to make sure my system is working before I get back to it, right? So look, KULR. One thing I mentioned was, hey, there's a decent chance we might come down to this 122. I am actually liking the fact that we're holding this as much as we are, all right? Obviously, we're under the 3 and this and that, right? But I think in a lot of ways, and I've said it before, KULR is a little bit reminding me of Soundhound. And I think that's maybe a little unfair to Soundhound, but again, we made a big run. Same thing KULR did. We made a nice little horizontal. Same thing KULR did. We're now trying to figure out, are we going to make another run or are we going to kind of come back down, right? That's what I'm seeing with KULR. We make a run. We go horizontal. We actually get another run. What could have been a green easily could have been a horrible red all the way back down. Instead, we basically hold, and hey, this horizontal being a little higher than this horizontal, obviously it's a good thing for money, but it is actually a good thing for strength, right? We are now establishing another support a little higher up, right? And that's always a good thing. It helps the ladder and all that sort of stuff, right? So KULR, I would say, I think 250 is a decent number. I think if you're willing to wait for 250, hopefully that breaks and that gives me a real reason to believe in 366. I would be worried. 180, that's a little low. What was your open? 187. I would be worried if we fall to 180. I think if we fall to 180 on KULR, I think that's where I'm going to start to think of that 120-ish range being realistic. This should be a very strong support, though. It normally I say, hey, if we're going to come to the 100, I'm probably going to lose it and come to the 200, and I generally say this is going to be the strongest of the strongest. This 120, if we come down this low, should be very strong, and I would actually be a little surprised if we were to lose this. But hey, hopefully the 50 does the job, let alone the fact that we're building a nice little horizontal support right there, right? So 250 on the way up, 180 would be a scary 120 signal down. MACD, RSI. Look, RSI is healthy. That's a good 40 right there. We were crazy high. If we can go just from 40 to 80, let alone 40 to even higher than 80, that could be a nice thing right there too, right? So Hey, one more time, please let me know if the system is working. Make sure I sound good, everything looks good. Hopefully, you saw me move from Discord to charts to calculator to if I had another tab, I would show the other tab too, right? So, appreciate the help here. Hey, thank you so much.